Hi, welcome to Module 3. This is really the most complex module of the entire course because we are coming from the most disconnected season of winter and we're trying to get to the most connected season of summer. So spring is this incredibly powerful, raw, messy, lots of work to do season, and I know it feels like a lot, but just honestly, listen to the course, listen to the modules, take what you need at this point and release the rest. This will be here for you. You have the workbook. I don't want you to feel pressure to do all the things. Nobody does all the things right off the bat. They really a la carte the system and they say, you know what, these are the 3 things that really work for us. So let's dive in. Spring. Spring is a pretty incredible season, I have to say, because it is where we get to understand what winter was for us and dream about what summer can be. It is when we are free from the weight of winter and all of the heaviness and the cold, dark, isolating times. And we get to forgive ourselves and our kids for the ruptures to the relationship. You know, all of the things that brought us down to the place where we were in that dark hole, we need to release that. And that's very freeing. And we will feel lighter and we will feel hopeful, right? And that is such a beautiful part of spring. We'll have less friction in our conversations. So it isn't going to be just the short, curt answers of yes, no, whatever. It's going to be a little bit more. It's not fully what summer can be, but it's definitely more. It's inquiring a little bit, asking a little bit, testing the waters. If this is just going to take your child back into winter, they're testing you, right? And so spring is really a time to reestablish a happy, safe space, right? Where listening and patience and grace rise up to be the bigger component of the season, and it isn't about being right. It isn't about being dominant. It isn't about being obeyed. It really is about being in partnership with them and finding a win-win for everybody to get to that connected space of summer. So your child also has feelings in spring. In spring, they might feel a little bit more free to be out of their room, right? They don't need to hide from you. They don't need to, be disconnected from everybody. They can kind of venture out and see what's going on in the family. They might actually feel less afraid because there isn't yelling, there isn't conflict, there isn't tension, and just those uncomfortable, energetic vibes. Like, you know it, I know it. You walk into a room and you're like, what did I just walk into here? They feel it too. So they're less likely to be worried about that because they know, okay, things are calming down now. So they're more open, right? They're more open physically, but they're also more open emotionally, right? They want to connect with you. They want to be part of this. They're interested in family activities. They're interested in knowing what's going on and plugging in a little bit more. That's new, right? Because if you think back to winter, they didn't want anything to do with you. And frankly, that was okay because you might have been very angry or hurt about their behavior or their actions, right? But now you're both starting to come a little bit closer to each other and checking it out and like, are they willing? Are they able? Are they interested? It's this little bit of a coming out of winter, coming into spring dance. And it's really important for your kids to know that spring is actually a new season. There will be some lingering winter things. Don't get me wrong. Like, winter just does not stop on a dime. There will be lingering things. But, with spring cleaning, by framing things as being a new day, new opportunities, a fresh start, the rebirth of things, they're going to feel very different, right? And you get to control that narrative, right? You get to bring that in for the family to say, we're going to do it differently now. We're going to do it differently. And this is what it might look like. So in spring, how do you know you're ready? Like, how do you know that this is the time that you're ready to walk away from winter. You're ready to release all of that darkness, heaviness, bitter harshness. What is it in you that signals it's time? In your workbook, you'll notice that there's a page for this, and I want to know. I want you to start digging into what is that shift in you, because what we want to get to is a way to bring this a little bit sooner, so winter doesn't last as long as it has been, right? You want to recognize when you're ready for spring, and how can you introduce it into the process a little bit earlier, but you have to know what that is first. So let's figure that out. And how are the ways that you reach out to your child? So after a winter conflict, what are the olive branches that you put out there? You know, for some parents, it's I start baking cookies every day after school. And I start like wooing them back into the relationship through sweets and sugar. Okay, we're not going to get into any judgments here, but it is an olive branch that some families use to kind of say, it's okay now, let's talk about this, or let's get over it, or let's put this behind us. Any of those things might be what you're trying to communicate by putting out an olive branch. It might be saying yes when they need some help with something, or recognizing they're struggling and saying, hey, I have this other thing that might help you. Here, I'll leave it for you. Let me know if you need anything. And they might see that as an olive branch, right? So knowing your own kids, knowing your history, how have you reconnected with them in the past? Now, if you are coming to your kids and they are still like steaming out of their ears and flushed and flooded with anger or resentment or hurt or embarrassment, you're not going to get very far, right? So how do you know when your child is ready for spring? Like, what are the signals that they give you that they are done being in winter, right? I'm sure you know them subconsciously. You know them energetically, but I'm not sure if you know them intellectually. I'm not sure if you've actually thought about it. And so that's what this part of the exercise is. I want you to think about it. What are the signals that your child gives you when they're ready to leave spring, or when they're ready to enter spring? And how do they show you that they're ready? What are the things they do or the things they say that signal to you they don't want to stay in winter anymore? They don't want to be disconnected. They don't want to be in this place of tension or hurt or sadness or, you know, kind of apartness. They want to be integrated again. What are some of the ways they show you that?